Hello, my name is Leah Morris, and welcome to our very first song crafting lesson. This month, we are going to talk about the indigenous influence on our modern songwriting. And specifically, I'm going to talk about the influence of indigenous music on my songwriting. I often describe my writing as Americana, which is cheating because it basically is a joining, a confluence of so many different styles. The gospel that I grew up with, the funk, the jazz, the blues, the country, the R&B, the rock and roll, and obviously the music of our indigenous ancestors in North and South America, Africa, Asia, Europe. Let's talk a little bit about the basic elements of this music. For me, it starts with the first sound that any of us ever heard. What was the first sound you heard? You don't remember. None of us remembers consciously what that was, but it had to have been your mother's heartbeat. Your mother's heartbeat. And so it's no wonder that our ancestors were so drawn to the drum. Use the drum to communicate, use the drum to pray, use the drum to connect. Returning back to the heartbeat of our mother. And speaking of mother, we all have one mother in common. And so the lyrics of the songs that are inspired by indigenous influence, by foundational music across the world, are lyrics of worship, of connection, of unity, of supplication, of communication with the rest of the natural world. Okay? And so those are our two elements for this month. We are back to the basics. Okay? We're talking about drum, and we're talking about lyrics that are somehow based on our nature, our natural world. We are here to be lifted in love. Look at the sky, it tells us. We are here to be lifted in love. Look at the sea, it tells us. We're here to be lifted in love, to listen to love as a flower raises its face to the sun. We are all one, here to be lifted in grace and love. We are here to be lifted in love. Look at the sky, it tells us. We are here to be lifted in love. Look at the sea, it tells us. We're here to be lifted in love, to listen to love as a flower raises its face to the sun. We are all one, here to be lifted in grace and love. I had a bit of help with that song. In fact, it would not have come to be if I hadn't gotten an email from a stranger at the time named Carl Karush, who wrote and said, "Hey Leah, I've recently discovered your music. And I heard this poem in the woods on a walk recently." He knew that I am one who often takes walks and hears music. And he offered these words to me. He says, "If there's anything you can do with them, they're yours." Well, in fact, they're ours, Carl's and mine, and yours as well. And that is the song that came from Carl's words. I often will play it with the djembe drum from Africa. We are here to be lifted in love. Look at the sky, it tells us. Now, if you're not a drummer, or if you don't feel proficient with drumming, or if you don't own a drum, you might say, "Oh, but and then answer any of those things as a reason why you can't do this kind of songwriting. Well, I'm going to take this book that I used for the How I Write Songs. It's Shakespeare. He helped me write a little song in the How I Write Songs mini course. And that will be my drum. We are here to be lifted in love. Like I told you, you've got a rhythm with you at all times. If you feel comfortable laying down your own rhythm, whatever rhythm it is, you can use literally any surface. The rhythm should be the easy part, although not everyone has a natural sense of rhythm. And if that happens, I've included 3 resource tracks for you in this lesson. So you can listen to those. They're varying BPMs, beats per minute, and slightly different instrumentation. You can choose one of those, or you can go on YouTube and just put in, I would like some tribal drumming, I would like shamanic drumming, any type of regular rhythm. Likewise, we're going to have a really brief lesson with Eliran Lev, who is an Israeli percussionist, who is going to show you, in case you do have a djembe or frame drum or shakers and you're not entirely sure what to do with them, I'm going to turn it over to Eliran now and let him show you some basics.